What's good, gamers? Sacklon here. Welcome back. This is not going to be kind to Blizzard, this video, but it's also not completely negative. There's a massive reveal in the cinematic, one that I personally would have thought should have been front and center, and that is, this is Azeroth's aspects. This is something completely new. It is something unique. We've never seen this before. Up until this point, the aspects have always belonged to the Titans. They were part of a Titan grand scheme, and this new aspect thing is Azeroth empowered. In fact, Azeroth even empowers Vernoth, which she's not an aspect. It's good, right? That moment alone, and if you watched my reaction, you would see when that was revealed, I was like, oh, what? That's cool. This immediately highlighted things like Tyr's vision with Zakaj, where Zakaj shows him how every one of the aspects turns against him, and every one of the aspects decides to turn on the Titans. And you think, is this it? Remember, the Void deals in half-truths, so Zakaj shows Tyr the aspects turn to the Void, but they don't necessarily turn to the Void. Azeroth bringing her champions. We've speculated on this for so long that Azeroth may actually be in the process of readying her armies for some fight. Now, this fight could be against the Titans. This fight could be against some other threat, so maybe against the Void or whatever. We don't particularly know, although based on a lot of the other cinematics that we've seen now, the Vernoth one where she goes and she frees the Stormdrakes from Odin, I do think that there's the story definitely seems to be marching in that direction. The direction that the Titans might be the next great enemy, and we may actually end up fighting the Titans, the Void, and the Light all in one expansion. That's going to be nuts. But that's not what the cinematic focuses on. Instead, the cinematic does this incredibly cringe thing where each of the dragons get the opportunity to basically say the power of friendship is what saved us. And the lines that are most important are completely washed over. They're just sort of, moved across. They're thrown in because you need that for the future of the story. But the focus here is the friendship. It's the togetherness of the dragon aspects. Now, like I said, this isn't going to be kind to Blizzard, but I'm also not just going to sit here and bitch and moan about this story. There is nothing wrong with doing a power of friendship story. The problem is that those stories are oftentimes very difficult to pull off because there's a couple of prerequisites that you need to have in order for a power of friendship story to work. The first is that the characters involved must be highly likable. The way you achieve that likable level is by involving the player in the emotional journey of said characters. So the player has to be emotionally involved in that story pretty much from the first minute, and then taken through all of the emotional steps until the crescendo, which is the moment where the power of friendship is revealed. The power of friendship in Blizzard is almost like a cop-out. It's like every cinematic rolls round and Blizzard tries to push hard. Friendship, friendship, friendship. The player base, however, is like, what? For who? Why? What do you mean? What friendship? I don't know why I'm supposed to care about this. And really, if I'm very honest with you guys, the whole of Dragonflight has been this emotional, manipulative drip feed where every single cinematic is desperately trying to get us, the players, to care about the characters on the screen. It's like the desperation is palpable in these cinematics. In this one as well, you can tell by the use of the music.
How can this be?
The dramatic shots in the cinematic. Blizzard is desperately trying to nail the emotional landing. They want players to go on Twitter and say, oh my god, I was crying at the raid finale cinematic, I was aghast. They want players to praise the use of emotion within the cinematics. That's not how cinematics work. You cannot get a player to care about something in 1.5 minutes or in 2 minutes. That it doesn't work that way. If you want to get the player to care, you have to start at the beginning, right? You have to start at the start of it. It needs to happen way before Emerald Dream, even. Like, way before the Guardians of the Dream expansion or patch. It had to have started. But even then, if you go through the Guardians of the Dream, like the questing of the Guardians of the Dream, it does no work of making you like any of the characters involved there. The only reason I like the dragons is because historically I liked the dragons. These new dragons are incredibly annoying and incredibly boring. And, you know, it sort of leaves the player with this weird thing of, well, I don't know where I want to go with this story. And like I said, it's not like it's bad, right? There's a good part in this. There's a good story in this. Balula over on Twitter had a quick rewrite where, and I think he hit the nail on the head. The problem with so many of the cinematics in World of Warcraft is almost all of them are tell, don't show cinematics, where things that should be shown to the player is instead told to the player. As if Blizzard feels like the player is too stupid to read subtext. If you think about movies, a lot of things that happen in movies is about subtext. It's about what isn't said, but it is instead felt. It's instead experienced while you're watching these characters go between different scenes. It's like Blizzard decided at some point that the player base is too stupid to follow the subtext, and so they've replaced all of the subtext with actual words. Like, every single thing has to be told to the player. The player has to know we are friends here. The player has to know that we were empowered by Azeroth. You could have shown that. You could have literally shown that. You could have had a scene flash to Azeroth, you know, the ball of fire that was Azeroth just sort of pulsing. And then it comes back and you see Alexstrasza's eyes and it starts glowing and you go, oh shit, that's Azeroth. Azeroth is empowering Alexstrasza. Oh crap, that's cool. You could have literally had that. Just that moment. Boom, boom. The player knows something is connected here. You could have shown, Balula actually explained this on Twitter. You could have shown how Alexstrasza rushes to Veranoth's defense after the battle against Farak. That shows the family. That shows the care. That shows the fact that we love each other. You could have shown how the power is now different. How they feel different. They don't show any of that. Instead, every one of the dragons gets their line, power of friendship compels you. The power of friendship compels you. The power of friendship compels you. I mean, one of them goes, Kaligos goes, oh, damn, I can't believe we got our powers back. And Nosdorma goes, oh, this is not the power of the Titans. It's like, yeah, I mean, we're watching this. You could have shown that. Didn't have to say it. You could have just shown it. At this point, I think this creates a lot of problems for me. Because I'm looking at the War Within, and I'm afraid that this is going to be the emotional level of intellectual storytelling that we're going to get. Or maybe the intellectual level of emotional storytelling. I don't even know which one of those would be the correct one here. But if this is the storytelling that we're going to get in War Within, I don't think Chris Mason can save this. I don't think that WoW can be saved. If you go on Twitter, people are beyond angry. Even people that have always loved the cinematics in WoW seem to be very confused about what they just saw. I've seen very few people actually defend this cinematic, but you know, it is what it is. Who knows? Anyways, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. If I really upset you because you hate the fact that I'm telling you what my opinions are on the newest cinematic, you can unsub. That's perfectly fine. Subscribe over on Patreon though, if you do enjoy my content and you want to keep this channel free from sponsorships. I'm getting it out of your hair. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully with more speculation. Peace.